Tata Nityananda Prabhu ke Shri Prem Purushottam Sachinanda Gaura Hari ki Bolo Giriraj Maharaj ki Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Shri Pancha Tattva ki Sankirtan Yapri ki Go Premanandi Samaveda Bhakti Vinda ki all glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to Shri Gaura Gradanya Gana Gotra Guloruharam Gauranga Gudatama Gopyara Kova Vriksham Gopala Gadarati Damyati Singha Gaura Govinda Deshikavaram Satatam Namami Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Shrestam Manamapi Sachiputram Matra Swarupam Rupam Dashagrajam Urupurim Maturim Ustratim Radha Kundam Girivadam Mahoradika Madhavasam Prapto Yasha Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Ajanulam Bhuto Bhujo Kanakavadato Sankirtanai Pitaro Kamalaya Tasho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Gadama Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karuna Avataro Anarpita Chirin Chirat Karuna Avatirna Kalo Samarpaitam Shvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Dyuti Kadamba Sandipitaha Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratuva Sachinandana Uttama Adama Kichuna Bachira Jachriya Dileka Kola Kahe Premananda Emona Gauranga Hridoya Dariya Bola Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangira Namare Bolo Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Laha Gaurangira Namare Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoy Amara Prana Re Jai Jana Gauranga Bhaje Se Hoy Amara Prana Re Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Shaiva Padambuja Bhakti Labhya Prema Vidana Paramati Tasmai Jagan Mangala Mangalaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Madgavirapi Gopala Sri Kriyat Kripaya Jadi Tadaiva Sambhaya Pitva Rishayustat Priyajanaha Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Sasanatana Rupaka Gopala Raghunatha Brajabala Bapahimam Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripasindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's a nice verse. Sanujaham moho nityam paraparada dharmakaha kshama shamam hare radha dehi me sadhu dharmakam, which nicely describes my situation. Sanujaham moho nityam. I'm always a pasandi. Pasandi is often translated as atheist. Pasandi also means a kind of wicked person. Pasandi also means a pretender. Someone who's acting like something they're not. Pasanjaham aho nityam. I'm always like this. Paraparada dharmaka. What's my nature? My nature is to commit offenses to everyone. So, Shamashamam Hare Radha, Dehi Me Sadi Dharmakam. We pray to Srimati Radharani, please forgive me for my offenses. Please make me into a genuine saintly devotee. I've moved down a little bit, I think. So, on our first day, we explored something, the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the existential dilemma of Arjuna, and how he felt it was better to die than to fight against his own relatives. And this is the nature of upadhis. Upadhis puts us in such a bewildered condition of existence. Upadhis are also a kind of violence. They say the largest place of violence in the world is in the home, between the loving wife and husband and the children, with the largest number of murders and things going. Why? This is also when we have our greatest upadhis. You're my wife, and I'll love you as long as you behave according to my designation. Or you're my husband, and I'll love you as long as you act this way, or you're my child. If we think about it, upadhis, along with upadhis, there's a kind of violence implied. Because upadhis means we're demanding, we're expecting someone to behave in a certain way. If they don't, then we become very, very angry with them. So this upadhis also is a source of Arjuna's lamentation. And we spoke something about the meaning of this word vishada, and how it means lamentation, it has many different meanings. And how in the beginning of the second chapter, Sanjaya describes that vishidantam idam vakyam, that Arjuna's words were vishidantam idam vakyam, they were full of this lamentation. And this lamentation provoked something in their relationship. Arjuna finally took shelter of Krishna. And we spoke something about that yesterday, karpanya doso sabhavaha, where he surrendered to Krishna. He says, Sishyasteham, now I have a new designation. I'm your disciple. And I want you to teach me. And we read something from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Savartavarshamam commentary, where he describes a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna tells Arjuna, Nanumad vachastam pandita mani verina kandayasi chet katam bruyam. You're such a big pandit, Arjuna. You can defeat my words. You want to argue with me. So, how can I speak? How can I be your guru? And Krishna tells him, Sakayam tvam katam upadishamiti chet chaha. How can I be your guru since you're my friend? And Arjuna says, no. Sishyasteham. Now, this is a designation I have. Now, I'm your student. Sadi Sikshaya. You please teach me. So we spoke about how this manifestation of Krishna, Acharya Mam Vijanayam Nabhamanyeta Karichit, the manifestation of Krishna known as Sri Gurudev, appears before the sincere devotee who's crying in the heart, who's practicing Vishad Yoga. And this is a great mystery, this is a great secret in our line. It's not just some external thing. I've been in the movement for 1 year now. Who should I take as a guru? Can I look at the guru's pictures, please? You got any website URLs or anything I can see? It's not that we pick guru, but Krishna decides who guru is for us. Krishna sends us guru. Sometimes people also say guru picks you. Sometimes there's some problems we've seen with that also. Krishna should pick guru for you. We cry to Krishna, pray to Krishna. And then Krishna appears before us as guru. And as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, what we read yesterday, according to the degree of our sincerity. I'd like to read you something from my Guru Maharaj. This is from a book, When Good Fortune Arises. And he says, one may cherish some desire. I want to do this thing for Krishna, but he should beg for direction. Guru knows what the will of Krishna is, because he's very intimate with Krishna. So a disciple should beg direction from his guru. Just do whatever the guru says, as it is, that's beneficial for you. One should not dictate to guru. Please tell me this thing. Please sanction my request. I want to do this thing or that thing. Don't dictate. Always beg for his direction. Completely depend upon his will, upon what he wants. Don't put forward your desires before him. Don't dictate to him. This is what Arjuna was doing initially. And because of that, Krishna told him, how can I be your guru? You already know so many things. You're such a scholar. You're explaining so many things to me about what is proper social life, how women should be protected, how the community should go on. You know so many things. And you don't want to follow my word because you know so much Shastra. Why should I speak anything to you? Then Arjuna says, no, no, no. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please teach me. So, when we speak about this Vishad Yoga, or the Yoga of Lamentation, it's on many, many different levels. And this is a kind of introduction to another level, which we can call the test of the Guru. Because Guru will test us. My Guru Maharaj used to say, Guru will test you very severely. He has to. If he's going to give you something very valuable, he wants to see what is the quality of your sincerity. He wants to see what do we really want. And as he used to sometimes say, if you want some cheap thing, that's very good. In the market, they'll sell you so many cheap things. But if you want something valuable, it costs more money. It's more difficult to find. So this is an important principle. Guru always tests the disciple. There's a story, famous story in Braj. There's one Mahant, one of the acharyas in the Nimbarka Sampradaya, who lived in the late 1800s. He is considered to be the father in this Sampradaya, the father of the modern Brajmandal Parikrama. His name was Katya Baba. And he was serving his guru, Devadas, in a very humble way, a very sincere way, helping with the parikrama and doing so much hard work. And some of his godbrothers were becoming a little envious. What does this guy think he is? He thinks he's really advanced. Guru Maharaj is giving so much attention to him. And they were criticizing him. One day, his guru, Devdas Ji, he called for him. He called for Katya. And his guru was sitting in front of a fire, and he had an iron bar inside the fire, which was red hot. And he called for that devotee, that disciple, come here. And he started shouting at him, and he started beating him with that iron bar. Nonsense, rascal. What are you doing? And just beating him severely. And his godbrothers were, you see, I told you. The guy's a nonsense, number one. Right? And Katya Baba, he just took that. Yes, Gurudev. And he didn't fight back with his guru. He just accepted that. And nothing further happened in that regard. A few years went by, and then his guru was on his deathbed. His guru was leaving this world. And his guru told him, you bring Katya to me. I want to see him. And his disciple came, and his guru started crying. He said, I always loved you. He said, but I had to test you. And I wanted to protect you because they were envious of you. And if I embraced you as I wanted to do, then they would criticize you and cause you problems. And so I beat you. But please understand, I've always loved you, and you're going to be the acharya after me. So it's not always clear how Gurudev behaves. And Guru always tests the disciple. There's a story we've heard about one young boy. His father was a thief. And his father was getting old. And it was getting more difficult for him to steal things and maintain the family. So the son one day approached his father and said, Father, you should teach me our family craft, our trade. Because you're getting old, you should retire. So now I can take up the work. His father said, okay, you come with me tonight at 12 o'clock tonight. And so they left. And they went to some house and they broke into the house. They'd been very, very quiet. And then his father opened up a door, which opened up into a closet. And he told his son, look inside of here. Maybe there's something valuable. So his son went inside the closet, and his father closed the door and he locked the door from the outside, inside these people's house. And then he made some noise, and he left. And all the people in the house woke up. What is it? There's a thief! There's a thief! And the boys inside this locked closet said, what did my father do to me? Oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? So then he thought, and he started making a sound like a cat. And then someone, oh, it was a cat made a noise. He got locked in the closet. So they went and opened the door, and the boy came running out. Hey, it's a thief! And they went running after the boy. And so they were pursuing him, and he saw a big stone near to a well. So he took the stone and threw the stone in the well. He kept running. And when they were coming, they heard the sound of splash. And he saw the well. Oh, he jumped into the well. He must have died, drowned in the well. And then the boy went home. And he said, Dad, I have something to tell you. It was really amazing what happened. His father said, you don't have to tell me. You passed the test. Now you understand the trade. So please don't think that it's just some kind of mechanical thing. That I joined the institution, I gave some money, you know. I was a life member, had a card. And I've been here so many years, I've done the 4 of this, and the 430 of that, and the 16 of this, and I've got all the numbers lined up. And therefore I should get initiation, and I should get mercy. But mercy doesn't come like that. Mercy comes when we're sincere. And Krishna will test us. Just as Krishna's teaching us through Arjuna. He's testing Arjuna very, very severely. Arjuna, you go and fight with them. You go and kill your relatives, right? Which is a great irreligious act. And Arjuna, he's, how can I do this thing? How can I kill these people that I love, that are part of my identity? And how can I do such an irreligious act? It's a very, very great test. So Guru and Krishna will test us severely. Sometimes we don't see that, we don't understand it. Because during the test, the teacher's always present, but the teacher's always quiet. Whenever there's a test, the teacher's always quiet. That's the nature of a test. So Gurudev may be very quiet, Krishna may be very quiet, and sometimes we may think like Arjuna, what am I doing here? I can't tolerate this anymore. My limbs are shaking. I have to go. I can't stay here. It's a great test. And Jiva Goswami speaks about this in Paramatma Sandarbha. He says some very interesting things I'd like to share with you. This is in Arucheta 93. He says, Paranandane pavritir dvida jayate parato nija bishta sampatyay kvachit tadabishta mata sampatyay cha. That there's 2 endeavors someone may make for happiness. 2 categories. 1, you may endeavor for nija bishta, for your own happiness. Or 2, you may endeavor for tadabishta, for someone else's happiness. And Jiva Goswami, he quotes the Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, the 10th canto, text 14. Yata kantaka vidango jantor nechatitam vyatam jiva samya gato lingayana tata vida kantaka. If you see the face of someone who's suffering, someone, because the example is someone's been kantaka, kantaka means a pin or a thorn. Someone's suffering from a thorn. And you've also experienced that pain before. You can understand that pain. And someone who realizes that, they don't want others to suffer in that way. But someone who hasn't been pinpricked by that thorn, they can't understand it. And they may go and they may speak some philosophy. Prabhuji, you should read Bhagavad Gita. Or knock this body. I'll tell you a personal story. My wife and I were a few years ago in Jagannath Puri, and we had some very disturbing news. That her father suddenly became sick, and they took him to the hospital, and he was diagnosed with cancer. And he only had a few days left to live. It was a very, very sudden thing. And we were very shocked. And that day we went to the Tota Gopinath temple, we said some prayer for him. And then we were circumambulating Chattaparva Govardhan Hill in Jagannath Puri on his behalf. And we got a phone call, and he passed away. And later that day, we went to visit Burijan Prabhu. Burijan was very wise. And when he greeted us at the door of his room, he just looked at us and he said, something's wrong, isn't it? What's wrong? And we said, oh, her father passed away today. And he looked at us and he said, such a thing I'll always remember. He said, now is not the time for philosophy. Now is the time to cry. And this is our philosophy. We have so much philosophy, but the philosophy is meant to help us to come to the point of crying. It's meant to help us understand some things in a theoretical way, but the important thing comes when we can begin this crying from the heart, this Vishada Yoga. So Jiva Goswami, he says, Dukkanubhava nama hyantaha karane dukkha sparshaha sacha sparshaha. That you can understand suffering. When that suffering touches your heart, it has some utility for it. So he gives this first explanation as a purpose of suffering. When you go through some very, very heavy thing, then you can understand when someone else has done that. There's really nothing worse when some very heavy thing happens to your mother passes away, your husband, your wife, someone very dear to you, and then you go to a devotee and they say, well, you know, Prabhu, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, you're not the body, you know. You know that. And it's really not the time to hear that right there. Because we do also need a time to cry, even if it's for someone in the material world. Our hearts need that. And if we can direct that to Krishna, that's Vishada Yoga. Yoga means to link with Krishna. And we can use that. Krishna puts us through that suffering. Then when we see the suffering of other people, we can understand. And maybe we don't say anything. We just give them a hug and say, I know. And they understand that you know. And those few words you may say in such a situation have so much more potency than however many verses you may quote in a mechanical kind of way. Jiva Goswami goes on to further explain an interesting principle. Yatu bhaktanam sukham tattasya bhakti rupam eva. Where do we get our happiness from? We get our happiness from bhakti. Bhakti brings happiness to the devotees. So then where is our unhappiness? Tata tesham dukkam cha bhagavat prapt antarayanaiva bhavati. When there's something that prevents us from meeting with the Lord. Maybe you haven't seen your Guru Maharaj in 2 years, and he's coming to the city, and you're so excited to go and see him, and then suddenly you become very sick, and you can't go. And you're feeling so very depressed. So there's a very wonderful program at the temple, but you can't go for this reason or that reason. That inability for us to be able to connect with Krishna and Krishna's devotees is what Jiva Goswami says, that's what causes us pain. That's what causes us suffering in this world. But when the devotee, in spite of those problems, this is a very important point, in spite of the troubles